Hi Stampers, this is Marie Bennett at blackberriesandcream.net. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and in this video I'm going to show you how I made my version of this card I found on Pinterest. And this card was saved from a website called biggane.blogspot.com. And you can see that it's signed by Brigitte in 2013. And I can't really give you any more information about the creator of the card than that. But if you're curious, you can go to that website and check it out for yourself. Okay, this card is the third in my series of cards using vellum, and it's a simple black and white card, and here you can see that she has embellished it with 3 maybe copper or pink pearls. And my version of the card, I didn't have the same stamps or the pearls, and so I just kind of used what I had on hand. And this is what the card looks like. So to make this card, you will need a piece of 2.5 by 4.5 inch vellum, a piece of 2.25 by 4.25 inch designer series paper, and I just used the black, basic black from the Neutrals cardstock collection or designer series pack collection. And then you need a piece of Whisper White cut at 3 inches by 5 inches, and then a Whisper White, and it is cut at 5.5 by 8.5 and folded down the middle at 4.25. Okay, so the stamps I used, 2 stamp sets, both out of the Occasions catalog. This one is called Sunburst Sayings, and this one I used You're the Best. And then from the Botanical Blooms, I used this leaf and the veins that go with the leaf. And that's the extent of the stamps you need. Alright, so let's go ahead and get started with the stamping. And on my piece of vellum, I'm going to stamp two leaves. And this time I'm going to make them a little closer together. I don't like the kind of gap between the leaves there. I think it kind of detracts from the card. And if you look at the original, in this one the leaves are touching. So I'm going to go ahead and do it that way. Okay. So I will start with the one that has the veins, and I'm using StazOn for that. I want it to be off of the edge of the vellum just a little bit. So like about right there. And then the next leaf, I want to be right here. Oh, good, I'm working off camera. Hi. All right. So now I'm going to use the Archival Basic Black and the full leaf pattern, and I'm going to stamp over the veins that I just put on. Okay, so the stamping is done on the leaves, and as you can see, it's kind of a worn web-like looking leaf there but I kind of like that look, so I've decided to leave it. And the last we need to do for stamping, I'm using the Archival Basic Black and this You're the Best. And I'm going to stamp it slightly above the half point, or I'm sorry, below the half point mark here. Because at the top of the vellum, we're going to have a piece of baker's twine. Alright, so this ink takes quite a while to dry on the vellum, so I'm going to use my heat gun and dry the ink, and then I'll be right back. Alright, so we're going to complete this entire top layer element of the card before we put it on the card. So the first thing to do is use some adhesive, and I'm just going to use Fast Fuse and just, oops, stick this on this 3 by 5 inch piece of Whisper White, and I want it to go kind of up here flush in the corner and along the edge with just a tiny little border, just so I can see the edge behind it. Right there. Okay, now the vellum, as I'm sure you're aware if you've watched my videos, when you adhere vellum to the card, you need to have planned ahead how you're going to hide the adhesive, because it shows through the vellum. And in this card, I've hidden the vellum behind the twine at the top and behind these candy dots at the bottom. And I'm using the black from the Neutrals candy dots. So before I put the glue dots on the back of the vellum, I'm going to put the candy dots at the bottom. So the first little candy dot I want to put right here, and I'm using 3 in all on there, 1 here, and then the last one right here. Okay, so if I turn my vellum over, now I'm ready to put the glue dots on the back of the vellum. And I'm going to use my paper piercer for that too. So I just pick one up and put it right behind that candy dot. Come on, boy, these glue dots are sticky. Okay, then at the top I want to put 3, one on each edge, one in the middle, about a half an inch down from the top of the vellum. And try to keep them lined up so that the baker's twine, when it goes across, can stay level with the top of the vellum to cover up the dots. Oops. Okay. Now this goes down maybe 3/8 of an inch down, and right along the edge, well actually if you line it up at the bottom about the same way you lined the designer series paper up at the top, with about the same amount of border there, then that'll be perfect. Okay, now across the top of this element of the card, I'm going to put 3 pieces of black baker's twine. That was what was on the card that I'm copying, and I got this black baker's twine in a paper pumpkin kit, and so I just happen to have it on hand. Stampin' Up! Does not sell all black baker's twine, so you'll have to get it at a craft store, or if you're lucky enough to be really cheap and subscribe to Paper Pumpkin and keep your leftovers, maybe you've got some on hand. Now I'm just going to tape this twine down with a piece of Scotch tape, and then I'll make sure it's spaced the way I want it spaced, and tape it down on the other side. There. Now this is ready to adhere to the basic card. So for that I'm going to use more Fast Fuse. This is a really good adhesive, and this element of the card has a little bit of weight to it because of the metal beads that I'm putting on there. So you have to be aware of that when you're making your cards. Okay. Now this has about 1/8 of an inch border at the bottom and on the side, and more like 3/8 of an inch at the top. There. Got to try to get it where you want it the first time, because that Fast Fuse is a very good adhesive. Alright, now the last thing left to do is tie on the beads. And if you look at the card I made, the baker's twine was too big for the hole in the beads, so I split a piece of baker's twine. It has four strands, and I split it so that it had 2. And then I put the beads on before I put it on the card. Now I'm just going to tie a bow, making sure that I keep the beads at the end of the string so that they both don't wind up on the same piece. Okay, then I'll just pull it down and get the bow looking the way I want it to look. Don't have quite as much flexibility with this bow because the ends are finished. So the length of the bow is already determined. But there you have it. That's the whole card right there. Simple to make. I hope you'll give this a try. It really is a very elegant card, and it could be used for lots and lots of different occasions. I was thinking that it would even make a really nice sympathy card. So thanks for watching. Happy stampin'. Bye.